Okay, guys, we're live. Hey, it's Dona Rutowicz, and this is my friend Christy, my friend, my client, right? My DG sister. So happy to have you here. And if you're new to the Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond community, these are conversations that we have that if you're going through a divorce, post-divorce, in the middle of a divorce, and you feel like there's no hope, or you feel you can't figure out why you keep chasing your tail, or you keep doing what we would say the right things, right? Going to therapy, reading the books, going to courses, but yet you just can't seem to get this relationship thing working, right? And that's with yourself as well as wanting to bring in a soulmate. Well, that's what Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond is all about. So I'm Dona Rutowicz. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, as well as a master relationship coach. And what I like to say is a rapid transformational relationship coach, because, right, Christy, the work isn't years, it's months. But the work we continue for years. But the transformation happens in a very short period of time, which is pretty freaking cool. But I help women who have, we're healed their soul fracture from divorce. We, number one, fall in love with ourselves first. That's the most important piece, is we put ourselves back in the puzzle as number one. And then we prepare our hearts for if and when we're ready to bring in a partner, should we choose to do that. So Christy is here joining us, hanging out for this girl chat. So Christy, it's so good to have you here. And we were just talking before we started, because we were just talking about, right, the night and day difference. When I first met you and you first came aboard DG to where you are today, completely different person. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself, and then we'll just take it from there.
Hi, I'm Christy. I live in Minneapolis. I'm a teacher and a mom of two amazing college daughters.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, I am just living my life. So
let's even put it this way, right? I'm going to do something that, you know, when we watch all these tech people do, let's see. Wait till you see this. I have something to share with you that's pretty cool, right? I'm going to put this in the chat, and let's see if it comes up. But it's not just living your life, it's living my best life. Absolutely. That's what you're doing, Christy.
Absolutely. Yes.
All right. So why don't we just let's start for when you came to DG, if you can even remember, even though it was only a short 3 to 4 months ago, but when you first came to DG, if you can remember kind of where you were, what you were feeling, what was kind of going on.
Yeah, I mean, I am 7 years post-divorce, and I was just stuck. And I did all the right things that you were talking about. You know, I did the therapy, and I, found good friends to lean on, and I have a great family. Yep. But I was just kind of missing the mark and not really loving myself. And like we've talked about before, you came along at the right time.
And like I like to say, truly, Christy, right? Divine timing.
Oh,
our souls. And that's what I like. I like to say is that we somehow, in the world of billions of people, our souls connect. And you heard your call that I need to do something different. I heard my call to be there and continue doing the work. And then together we met, and then you had enough courage and bravery to commit and take action to do the work. Because so many women I speak to every single day will not commit and take action, right? They're wanting something to change, and then they'll pray. They're praying, they're hoping, they're doing all of this. The opportunity comes, and then they get scared and they get fearful. They go into the limitations, and then they're like, nope, I can't do it. But you didn't. You said yes.
And and they settle for something less, and I feel like before DG,
just there's life before DG and there's life after DG. Yeah. Isn't that hysterical? I love it, because that's true.
It's absolutely true. I settled for things. And now there is no settling. There is no looking back. So me looking forward, I am not my past.
That's right.
Yeah, and I don't.
You. I'm just even this conversation, Christy. Even this conversation.
Yeah,
is just, again, the difference of when you came to DG, like you said, there was this, I had settled in the past. And I'll never forget the one, you were in the program 1 week. Hey, Margaret. Margaret is here. So Margaret is a past client of DG too. So glad to see you. Margaret is now happily in a wonderful, committed relationship too. So that's pretty cool. But I remember you sharing something really special with me, and I hope it's okay to share. But remember we were talking about, this was post-COVID, where we were doing the Zoom calls with our family and friends and things like that. And you had said that you've been doing Zoom calls with your family. And it was 7 days to the day, I think you were in the program, or right about that time. And your family, I think it was your dad, had seen, he's like, there's something different about you. I don't know what's going on over there. Like, there's something different.
Yeah. Just amazing. Yeah. It was just an amazing difference. And I was doing the work, and I didn't necessarily, I mean, I was only, like you said, like a week into the program, but even at that point, my dad was like, yeah, there's something, like, you're lighter, and you just seem more at peace.
And that's a key principle. And you know why? Is because you were decisive. You made a decision.
Yes.
When I like to say, let's make a hell yes or a hell no, not a maybe so. Because when we're wobbling in the middle, should I do this or should I do that? Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll wait. Maybe I'll look at other things. Maybe I'll try to do what I've always done. Maybe this new therapist will really help me, or maybe this new program or this new book, right? We try to find all of these minimal ways. But yet you committed, and that's the moment we commit. I like to say providence moves, and just at the beginning of the commitment, we already get lightness.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know what? Tell me if you find this fascinating, because I don't know why I'm going down this path, but I guess I've been having more and more just conversations in general, because I was away 2 weeks doing this conference in California, and we're talking about just self-development and how to really connect the head and the heart and how to really get action. And one of the things that I find, and tell me if you experienced this in the past, is that as women, because we have a nurturing spirit, and Christy, you're a teacher too, right? So you have that empathetic spirit to your students, is we tend to place the value outside of us, right? So let's say one of our children came and said, I want to invest in my volleyball camp, right? Because I remember this, my daughter coming to me, investing in volleyball camp, right? Which was, I don't know, it was anywhere between $3,000 and $6,000 by the time we were done with it. We have no problem saying yes. But yet when it comes to us, and now it could be a small investment as well, like a sneaker you're looking to buy for yourself, or investment like Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond, where you're really drawing the line in the sand and really doing the work in order to get yourself where you want to be. It's amazing how we pause.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what would you say to that? Like, to where you were then to where you are now, in your worth and your confidence. And like you said, let's go down that. I'm just not tolerating this anymore. I'm not tolerating.
Yeah. I've always been that anymore. I've always been that yes type of person. Yeah. And whether it came to my daughters or friends or family or my students or coworkers, I always just kind of gave in, and I was that yes person. And then the book Boundaries came in.
Oh, I remember that book. Yes.
And setting those boundaries and telling people, no, I can't do it. And you don't even need to give a reason. You know,
I would like to say no, period, is a sentence.
Exactly. Yeah. And just the power in that, and setting aside the time for myself to go through my modules and to go through the weekly meetings and getting to sit with these badass.
We are freaking badass women. I love us. I like to say I love us. And for those of you who are listening that aren't familiar with what Christy and I are talking about, is I run a 12-week rapid transformational relationship program. And what I like to say is the 12 weeks is just the beginning, because that's just the beginning of our sisterhood. We are truly family. We are truly sisters. And we're going to be together for life, my friend, right? Like, just our journey all ahead. But this group of women, and most women who come to DG are very surprised, because they're not used to badass, empowered women helping each other. They're used to other women kind of betraying them or hurting them, or having to be careful what you share, because you don't know if what you're going to share is going to be told to everybody at the bunko party that night, right? Like, where this is a group where you're just like, holy shit. Wow, if she could do it, so could I.
Yeah.
Doing.
And in my past life,
Yeah.
having those friends that post-divorce I needed to lean on, and they
Yeah.
didn't have the same experiences that I did.
Yeah.
It was very difficult for them to understand. They could be there, but
Right.
they don't know what to say to me. They don't know the advice that I need. And DG sisters, I mean, we have each other's back.
We have each other's back. Up, down, left, right, middle, center.
Oh, yeah. And just,
Whichever way. Mm-hmm.
yeah, we're each other's biggest cheerleaders.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So what would you say sort of is, when you sort of came into DG, what was it that you were really looking to accomplish? And then let's talk about where you are now.
Yeah, just loving myself.
Yeah.
I felt like I was at a place where I was stuck and this was going to be my life, and didn't really want to date, didn't really want to find love again. But whoever would listen, I thought that I would just spout my story. And I felt like after I started DG, I'm not that story anymore.
No.
I'm just not. And so I've come a long way in that respect.
Mm-hmm.
And then my mindset is so different. I just, and I've seen this happen, and we talk about this on our calls all the time, that, you know, we want something to happen and we think about it and we pray about it, and it just kind of happens. It just kind of falls in front of us. So, and kind of like DG did for me, you know, it came at just the right time. And so no longer am I in that state of, okay, I want this to happen. And okay, I'm going to be really upset if it doesn't. I'm going to be bummed, right? We all are if something doesn't happen the way we want it to go. But I realize now that, okay, everything happens for a reason, and I'm going to kind of take a step back and, okay, maybe that's not what I need at this time. But I'm sure as heck going to work to manifest.
And we know, and I like what you said about, we no longer have to be worried if something is going to happen for us, or hope and prayer, right? It's more of a, no, of course this is going to happen. Yeah. I'm setting the expectation. This is, of course, this is absolutely going to happen. There's no reason why it won't. And what we're prepared to do is we're prepared to do anything that we need to do in order to get that to happen. Right. And that may mean we may need to wake up a little earlier to do a little reading, or like you did, you had a couple of weeks where your school was kind of, you know, really busy. But then you took the time when you had the downtime to really catch up and do the things you needed to do, because that's what you do, right? You take inspired action to do the things that you need to do. And success isn't reserved for the convenient. It's reserved for the committed. Right. And when you commit, because that's all it takes, is I commit. This is what I want, and this is where I'm going. And Margaret is just sharing with us that Margaret says, yes, I made the commitment and manifestation. 2 weeks later, I met Steve, and he was everything on my list. So we teach you in DG the manifestation, right? That was 15 months ago. Margaret was through DG 15 months ago. She made the commitment. She's working on the manifestation. And one of the things is, you know, going through the different stages of what we want. Like for you, Christy, in the beginning, and even right now, even, it may not be about bringing someone else in. It's about living my best life. It's about being in full alignment with myself. It's about going to school every day and being able to see these children in such a different light, and that I could see things I didn't see before, right? It could be by my mom, myself, like it's a whole different, you know, outcome for you. That and then maybe down the road when you're ready, if that right person comes in for you, great. If not, but going back to the manifestation piece, there's no worry or fear anymore. It's expectation. And the way it shows up may be very different than the way we expect it to. And I think that's why so many people don't even realize that they're utilizing the laws of the universe, but they're not conscious of it, right? And so they may be saying, okay, here's what I want. This is what I want. Let's say $5, for instance, because you know we talk about this. We use money all the time just to test it. Like, just go out and just test this, because this is really concrete. This is something we really could see. And so we'll say $5. Just go out and, you know, test something for $5. But the $5 may not come back to you in a $5 bill the way that we would think. It may come back to you, someone bought you a cup of coffee that was worth $5. Or maybe you're going to the supermarket and you always get the same chicken that you always buy, and you don't care, you just buy what it is. But today it's on sale, $5 off, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how manifestation works. So what are some of the things that that you noticed along your journey with that? Like just the miracles and manifestations you've experienced?
Oh gosh, there have been so many. As you were talking, I was thinking about my journal and realizing those little small wins that I would have, whether it's friends that, I was feeling kind of down and friends that would call me and we'd get together, just those little things that I wasn't appreciating before, that moving further into the program and journaling every night, taking that time for myself, it has really become something that I look back on and I think, wow, this is absolutely amazing. I'm trying to remember back. It was towards the beginning of the program. I remember getting on our call and thinking that I had manifested something and written it in my journal. I should go get my journal again.
I do remember this conversation. What did you manifest? Was it money? Did you manifest? I don't know. We have to talk about that. When you find out, let me know. But I do remember that. I do remember you, and because it was very quick. It was like we spoke about it.
Yes.
And I want to say it was like that day it happened.
I do remember what it was now.
What was it?
Friend of mine gave me money to buy something for her at the store that I work at part-time.
Yes.
And I lost it. It fell out of my pocket at the store. Remember, I was telling you this.
I do.
I went to work that night and I was like, it was $80, but still I was like, $80. Okay, I'll just have to pay her back and I'll do this. And so then I got to thinking about it and I thought, I'm going to call the store where I dropped the money or where I lost the money and kind of retrace my steps. And the clerk said, as a matter of fact, I have this phone number. Call this person. I called the person and I said, look, this is what happened. And she goes, I left my phone number, wasn't going to leave them my name. I have the money. And
and
I got the $80 back.
And I remember you calling me like that day. You're like, Donna, this happened. And we were both like, yay.
Yeah. The old me would have fallen apart and been so mad and I would have stewed over it for days. But I worked through it, and this amazing woman.
Yep. Because that's what we expect now. We expect things to work out for us. That's our global belief system. Everything is going to work out for us. Doesn't mean it's unicorns and butterflies, but we know and I think what you said about the stewing part, because I think I'm going to say many people here who are listening to this now and who will be listening to this recording at a later point understand what's that stewing, because that's what we do. We stew. And we think about it and we think about it and we think about it. Now here comes the negative talk. You're so this. You're so I can't believe you did that. You're so irresponsible. Because you're always running around. You're not taking time. You're not thinking, or this or that. All of these voices come in that aren't even ours. They were created when we were 0 to 7 years old, right? And so the person who had been berating us in the past, who could have been our ex, could have been a parent, could have been a friend, they're gone. We are there and we're stewing. And I can't tell you, Christy, how much I see this. And I am part of this puzzle here too. Successful women are their own worst enemy.
Oh, absolutely.
We are our own worst enemy. No one needs to tell us we did anything wrong or that something's bad, because let me tell you, the knife fight that's happening inside is worse than anybody else can imagine. Right? If we would put it on film, it would probably it would be scarier than the worst scary movie. But the part, because when you align with yourself and you align with your heart and your head, and you have the confidence and the worth, you have something that's called peace, right? Which gives us resilience. And resilience allows us to take a pause and respond and not react to a situation. So yes, was it upsetting to you? Of course it was. Yes. Did your mind begin to go through that downward spiral? It did. But then you stopped it. You said, no, mind, you're not going over there. You're going to come over here where I tell you to go. Kind of like you would tell a student in a classroom, like, I know you want to go there, but you can't. You're going to follow this lesson today. And when you tell your brain how to go, you're creating a new rule, and we're changing subconscious programming. But what it enables us to do is take an empowered mindset towards life. And we come into DG because we want to get peace and we want to heal our heart. Who knew that we're going to get a whole tool system on how to handle just everyday life?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Not just, the romantic relationship that maybe, years down the road, but yeah, little things like that.
That's where we become the ninjas.
Yes.
The ninjas. I'd like to say that kind of life could be a battlefield sometimes, unfortunately. Life could be very beautiful many times. And actually, I like to say, again, like I like to see life always as unfolding. Even in the suck, we're learning something. There's always something working for us. But in the challenge is life could be that battlefield, and our mindset is our protective gear, right? If we were to go into a boxing ring without protective gear, we could get fatally hurt.
Right.
It's the same thing. So many women are walking around right now in a shell of themselves, right? The outside, they're going to work, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, and outside looks great, but it's the inside that's the dark night of the soul, and they're suffering by themselves alone every day, every night.
Yeah, yeah, and I often felt that way. I mean, the past 7 years that I just had this victim status written in my face.
Yeah,
and yeah, it
sucks.
It didn't feel good. Yeah,
no, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good, and then I think it impacts every part of our life.
Oh,
it impacts our ability to enjoy life. It impacts our ability to take care of ourselves. Like I remember being in that space, and my friend was coming over, and this is just full disclosure. I'm not an alcoholic by any means, but she's like, Donna, you're hitting that wine bottle like pretty hard, like I was over here the other night and it was pretty full, and I'm thinking, and I didn't even realize it, but I was having a couple glasses of wine a night, just not even realizing it until I really looked at myself. I was like, Donna, what are you doing? Like this is not good. But that's when you don't realize it is because you're suffering, right? And going back to what we learn in DG is we learn about our behaviors and our patterns that could be leading to us in suffering that we don't even know we're doing, right? That are there. But when we could sort of move through those and eradicate those, even though life may not be where we want it to be, even though life may not be perfect, we could have joy in spite of the suck.
Absolutely.
Right? And we become the model for our children. How important is that for you, for your daughters to see
I mean, right post-divorce until now, like, of course, I have not handled things perfectly, but
I don't think any of us had, because again, Maya Angelou, I love what she says. We do the best we can with what we had. And you did, Christy, right? Like you did. Same thing with me at that time. We did the best we could with what we had until we did something different, which is now.
Yeah. Yeah. We were surviving.
Yeah.
So, that legacy. And I know you've talked about that, you've changed generations with the work that you've done and that I will continue to do. Change. I'm able to be more present for my daughters and more with them and enjoy the time that we have.
Yes.
Like I used to feel like I was just kind of going through the motions.
You didn't have time for happiness because you were too stuck on yourself. And I don't mean this in a bad way.
No.
But like, it's true. Like we're when you feel like shit, you don't have time to really enjoy the flowers. Yeah. You're not painting the house while the porch is on fire. It's not going to happen.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. There's no longer comparing myself to anybody else. It's, this is what I have and this is what I do. And
this is who I am.
I don't make any excuses for it. Like,
take it or leave it.
Absolutely.
Right? Absolutely. And it's so, because it's kind of like, hey, listen, this is who I am. Like you said, no excuses. And if you have a problem with it, that's your problem, not mine. That's okay. But I'm going to hope and know you. I'm going to wish you all white light and love, right? Forgive you, move on your way. And that just makes more room for the right people in my life to come in, and you really do realize that. And just think about how many years were wasted, Christy.
I know.
Worrying about other people, keeping everybody else happy, or not wanting to hurt people's feelings, or doing things that you really didn't want to do, or really didn't want to say because you really just didn't want to, upset the apple cart or keep the peace or all of those things. Years.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm thinking multiple years.
Absolutely. Oh, for sure.
In my past that were wasted in that.
For sure.
I thank God every day. I thank God every day for my divorce.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that in the best of ways, because I wouldn't have chose it. I would never have chosen that path for myself, but it is what projected me into awakening. It could have went two different ways, right? It could have went to the path where, and this is what I see many times, is I'll speak to women who are, 20, 30 years post-divorce, and that's it. Like, that's their identity. They're going to the grave in that identity. They're not changing. And that could have been me very easily.
Oh, for sure.
And it could have been you, right? It could have been any of us.
Oh,
but
yeah.
For whatever reason, and I thank God that we heard that calling in our heart that there's something different.
Absolutely.
There's got to be a better way. There's got to be something different. And then listening to that little bread trail, right? That little bread trail that's following and having the courage to say yes, and having the courage to say, I matter. And I value myself, and I honor myself enough to do the work, which you have, and which is going to be for your kids, like your daughters forever. Like you said, generations. My goal here at Divorcing Gracefully and Beyond is to heal millions of women across the globe. But this millions, Christy, is also generational. It's our children.
Yes.
It's our girls. It's their children. It's their children. And this is the part that I just find, I could cry when I really think about this for us, for you and for your family, that you truly have changed the trajectory.
Oh, yeah.
Of everybody's life.
Yeah.
I'm going to cry now thinking about it, because that's really,
I know. Like you, I mean, nobody gets married to get divorced, Right. I mean, that's not the trajectory.
That would be a pretty shitty fairy tale to watch.
Yeah,
Hi, kids. Let's watch this. Let's get really scared.
Yeah.
It's a horror movie. Here you go.
Yeah, but I am thankful for my divorce, like you said. Like, I never would have found the woman that I am, and I love myself. Like, I'm very proud of myself.
And as you should be. As you should be. You earned your crown.
Oh, absolutely.
And we're going to not only do we see the crown, because I think in the past I might have seen a crown, but it might have been in a cabinet that you didn't touch. Like when we were younger, or when I was younger, even, my grandmother would have the couches that were protected by the plastic. You sat on the couch like, you're like, you didn't move. Right. But that's kind of what the crown was, in a sense. Like it was this elusive thing that was there. But now, guess what? It's like break in case of emergency glass. That glass is broken.
Yeah.
That is coming out, and we're freaking wearing the crown.
Oh, absolutely.
Using our fine china. The fine china isn't going to stay in the cabinet. The fine china is going to come out, and we're going to use it, and we're going to enjoy it. We're going to wear our crown, and we're going to honor ourselves in our life.
For sure. Yeah.
Right? And be the example. What have other people said to you, Christy, other than your family? Like, what has your friends or work colleagues, and what has their kind of response been?
Yeah, I know you and I had talked about this at one point. Like, people were trying to say, well, I've had coworkers tell me, well, we've been telling you that for years. And I'm like,
telling you what?
Telling me, to get over it and to do this and to do that, telling me what to do to kind of get through things. And I was like, well, yeah, you're right. But I wasn't ready to hear it. And then I've had other people tell me, or ask me, what's the program like? And I've told you this. It's like, I can't really even describe it other than life-changing.
Yeah.
And life-saving.
Yeah.
And I
oh yeah, that's so cute. Jen. Oh, so let's hold on. We have a few comments here. We're so proud of you too at BW.
That's my school.
Yes, Wayne. Yes. Woo-hoo. So it's so nice to have colleagues that support you.
Oh, I have. Oh, thanks, Jen. She's a
wear that crown.
Yep.
Amazing. See, this is the type of stuff that's so important, right? When we step up into our own brilliance and we own it, not in a way of I'm better than you, or because I'm stepping up in my brilliance means that you can't be brilliant. Everybody has the opportunity to be their own brilliance. Everybody has the opportunity to shine, and it's not going to take away from anybody else. And so when you take that power back and you become empowered, man, everything changes from there. And you are a shining example, Christy. Like, I just have to say, so especially for your school colleagues and everyone that's working, you have one amazing woman with you guys. You are so blessed to have this woman, Christy, because there is nothing more important to her than the work she does and the impact that you do for your students. And man, amazing.
Thank you. You're making me emotional. Thank you.
Well, good. I'm glad. We liked you. I'm crying. You're crying. Everybody's, come on, everybody. We're all going to cry. That's the impact of this work. That's the impact. So what would you say, Christy? What was some wisdom that you could say to someone who's listening today? Like, what would you want that person to hear?
Oh, just about the program or about?
I would say about the program. I would say about where they are. You know, like, let's say they're scrolling through Facebook, right? They happen to come across you. They're listening to you and like, oh my gosh, Christy, this is me. This is me. Christy is me. And I just don't know what to do. Like, what would you tell her to do?
Oh, listen and do the work.
Yeah.
And don't give up.
Yeah.
You know, I, for so long, have been so stuck.
Yeah.
And I'm not stuck anymore.
Yes, you're not. Yeah. You are. Well, it is kind of like, man, like this arrow. If you think about an arrow pulling back, right? We have this tension, and then you let it go. And that's where you are now. You're in your trajectory.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. Other than that, I don't have anything else.
Well, what would you say about the, you know, I would say about, because I'm going to share with you my journey too. When I first started doing this work, before I did this, right? So this is like 20 years ago, I'm talking. I was fearful of, so like you knew to do the yes, right? Like, this is the next, but this is of course what I have to do. Yeah. For me, even though I'm that now, I had to build that muscle. That wasn't a muscle that I was born with. I was born, and actually maybe I was, but where I grew up and my household, I wasn't given the ability to make decisions for myself in that way, right? And so I didn't have the confidence to make the decision. So even though my heart was leading me to a yes, but what happened is my subconscious would come in and say, don't do it. You know, like, this is, you know, you should be happy with what you have, or make do with this, or you could figure this out on your own, right? And so that's that internal language that many women battle. So when it comes time to really saying yes to the work, they back away. Not because they don't want to do the work, but because they've been conditioned to not say yes, take the next step, and do the work. So what would you say to those women who are just on that, like, stuck, and they really, their heart knows that there's something else, but they are just so freaking scared?
Yeah. Oh gosh. I don't know. I was just so stuck for so long, Donna, and I knew I needed something else, and no amount of, you know, switching to different counselors or enough reading books was going to get me there.
Well, I think that's profound, actually, Christy, because that's what we do. We go from one counselor to the next. Again, not bad. I am a licensed clinical social worker, so I understand it. I mean, I had a private practice for many years, and I think we just try to use the same tools. We try to reuse them over and over and over and over again. But if I kind of equate it to sort of like metaphorically in COVID, you can only wash a mask so many times.
That's true.
It's not going to work. You're going to get to a point. It's just not going to work anymore. And so you've got to do something different. Yeah.
And I knew I needed something. And you popped up on Facebook, and I was like, this is meant to be. This is what I need. So
where are we going from here, my friend? What's your goals? What's your dreams? What do you want to put out there?
Oh, you know, I told you I've been working on my vision board.
Yes.
And I have wanted to travel. I have my 50th coming next year. So
yes.
So
you're in like the perfect space for your 50th.
I know. Can you believe it? I know. I wanted to travel more. And so like I've told you, I have manifested that I've made it happen, doing some traveling.
That's right. You're traveling coming up in June, is it, or something?
In December. And then we're going next summer, and we're going to celebrate my 50th in Europe, hopefully.
Yes. It's going to be because that's what works out for us. Of course, you'll be in Europe.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah, that's what happens. So yeah, those are my goals. I have found church again. Love the church that I found. Have just
I didn't know you found church again. I'm happy for you, though.
Yeah, I have. I fell away from it for a long time and found it and have been attending and meeting some new people.
That's really beautiful, Christy. I think that's an important piece of the puzzle is finding that anchoring in our spiritual side, whatever that is for the person, right? For you, for that person. But I don't know how we truly could evolutionize to the next level of where we're at if we don't have that belief in something greater than us. It doesn't have to be religion, right? But just that anchoring in what that is for you. And so I'm really happy you found that.
Yeah. And here's another synchronicity is right when I joined DG and I found this church, they had a soul fracture series.
Are you serious? You never told me that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I found it just at the right time. So, I mean,
that's insane how the synchronicities happen.
Yeah.
And those are the God winks that just say, you're on the right path. You're on the right path. You're on the right path. And you just keep following. And that's what I would say to whoever is listening is whether it's me or whether it's another coach, but invest in yourself. Don't try to keep doing the same things over and over again, because as Christy and I could tell you, we've done it, we've been there, doesn't work anymore, right? It works up into a point, but it's believing in yourself. It's valuing yourself. It's putting on your crown and acting as if you're wearing the crown even before you feel deserving of wearing it, because we are your surrogate. I don't know if we spoke about this early on, Christy, but what I like to say at DG is we're your surrogate belief until you could hold it yourself.
Oh yeah.
Right. And just like finding church where we are the vine and the branch, it's the same thing. And there's so many things when it comes to regaining your power and healing post-divorce that, therapists, and I hate to say this, but many therapists they're not skilled in this work, right? It's a very unique thing that we go through, right? And so that's why you could be going to the books, you could be going to therapists and have it not really working. But I mean, look at Christy, look at you. You're a shining example of this. And I'm so proud of everything that you've done, Christy. Honestly, there's nothing that's more rewarding to me than to see what I would say, my sisters, right, find their wings, find their flight.
Yeah.
Get off that branch.
Oh,
go. Right?
Yeah.
You just go.
In the very beginning, I would see women on these calls and go, man, I want to be like her. And oh no, I never will get there. And here I am. It's been.
And here you are. Now you are that woman that other people are looking at and saying, I want to be Christy.
Oh, I hope so. Yeah.
Oh, I know so. You are 100% an inspiration to so many women who in DG, I mean, who are looking at you as their example. So really amazing work.
Thank you.
So here's to your future. Yes. And so it is, my friend. And so it is, because this is just the beginning. You have cleared the slate of just the junk that we've been carrying around for so many years. And most of the junk wasn't even ours. It was just placed upon us, from our ex-husband families and our families again. I love my family. My family didn't do anything intentional in their mindset. They just didn't know any better in their belief systems. They did the best they could with what they had. But when I really evaluated it, like you, it's no longer ours. Now we get to decide.
That's right.
What we want. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Is there anything you'd like to say before we wrap up and close? Anything you'd like to say to yourself? Because you'll be listening to this video 1 year from today. This is your homework. So what would you like to say to yourself as your close today?
Oh, keep doing the work. Keep doing the work. You're amazing. Yeah.
And you're badass.
Oh, I'm badass.
We're badass.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
We're badass. We are amazing. Wear your crown.
Yes.
Wear it amazingly.
Yes.
All right. So hang with me here for a second. We're just going to close. So for those of you who are sort of really aligning with Christy and are in that space where you're like, Donna, I am done. I'm drawing the line in the sand. I've got to do something different. I've done the books. I've done the webinars. I've done all of that. hop on a free Breakthrough to Life and Love call with me. And basically what that is, it's just a conversation, because I let you know honestly if I could help you. If I could help you, I'm going to let you know. If I feel there's a different resource, I let you know that too, because I'm not attached to being your coach. I'm attached to getting you to your outcome. And if I am your coach, great. And if I'm not, I'm going to forward you to the right person. So with that said, I'm going to put a link in the comments below where you could book a call. And other than that, I'll see you guys later. Love you, DG community. See you later.